Hello folks, welcome to Railways Explained. Our today's plan is to close the story of the Spanish railways and to discuss the evolution of the AVE trains. Also, we will not miss the opportunity to cover other train sets that also operate on the AVE network. This video will be interesting because we will talk about different manufacturers that produce the rolling stock for the Spanish market, but also the open architecture of the Spanish HSR tracks and structures that allow the use of a variety of manufacturers. This is actually quite different from the approaches of majority of high-speed countries where the infrastructure is designed to work with only one or specific type of manufacturer. As we pointed out in the last video, most of the HSR network in Spain is covered by the RTMS system, so almost all trains, in addition to the Spanish train management system, also have an onboard ERTMS device. So let's start from the beginning. But before, we would like to invite you to check out our Patreon page, take a look at the opportunities that we offer there, and consider becoming our patron, as that might be of significant help in improving the work of our channel. Thank you, rail lovers! If you watched our video on the evolution of the French TGV trains, you probably know that the Renfe Class 100 is directly derived from the TGV Atlantique. What is interesting is that the first HSR line from Madrid to Seville was initially planned to be built on an Iberian gauge, so Renfe ordered the purchase of 24 Iberian gauge units. As at the last minute it was decided that the Madrid-Seville will be the standard gauge, Renfe changed its order from 24 Iberian gauge units to 16 standard gauge units. The contract was awarded to Alstom and trains were delivered between 1991 and 1993. Then, after several annexes and delays, the 8 additional trains were delivered, 2 standard gauge and 6 Iberian gauge. The Iberian sets became the Renfe Class 101, which was used to operate the services along the Mediterranean corridor. This class has almost exclusively served the HSR Madrid-Seville. They were used on the Madrid-Barcelona for a short period until the introduction of the Renfe Class 102. A Series 100 train is made up of 2 power cars and 8 passenger cars with shared bogies, with a total capacity of 329 passengers. Its maximum speed is 300 km per hour. It is compatible with the electric systems of 3 kV DC and 25 kV 50 Hz. This train set one of the most important speed records in Spain, reaching 356.8 km per hour on a test run. In 2007, after 15 years in service, which is half of the life cycle, this series has undergone an interior and exterior refurbishment. The aim was to better suit the new needs of travelers and give it a newer look. In 2011, Renfe awarded Alstom a contract for the adaptation of 10 train sets of the 100 series for the future use on the HSR line between Barcelona and Paris for 29.7 million euros. The transformation allowed trains to run in sections of 1.5 kV to reach stations in Paris. The number of seats is also increased to 347 by eliminating the club class and the French signaling system. As of 2023, Renfe plans to cancel part of the 100 series fleet for sale to private operators and replace it with the new Renfe 106. The Renfe Class 102 train set is nicknamed Pato because of the nose that look like the beak of a duck. Pato is the second batch of train sets manufactured by Talgo and Bombardier, and it was principally designed for the Madrid-Barcelona line. The train set consists of 12 Talgo passenger cars, modified in order to allow speeds of up to 350 km per hour with power cars at each end. However, its certified maximum operating speed is 330 km per hour. The train set has a capacity of 318 seats. Renfe's original order in 2004 was 16 series units, delivery of which began in 2004. These train sets are in service from 2005. The contract was extended to 30 new trains of the same type for the new high-speed lines, which, having some modifications to the original series, were called Series 112. The biggest difference in regard to Class 102 is the increase in capacity by 49 seats. According to the order, 14 of the 30 compositions had to be manufactured in Renfe Integria's own workshops, so they have been assembled in the Los Prados workshops in Malaga. Outside AVE service, Talgo labeled this train as the Talgo 350. Talgo 350, based on the Class 102 design, is being used on the Haramain high-speed railway, which we talked about in detail in the video on the construction of this line. Renfe Class 103 includes Siemens Velaro train sets. In fact, this series is a sister of the Velaro, and its denomination by Siemens is Velaro E, since it is the same in design but with special characteristics requested by Renfe, such as operation in greater range of temperatures, greater power for higher acceleration, and top speed to cover the 651 kilometers between Barcelona and Madrid in 2 hours and 30 minutes. It also has a different interior. On 24 March 2001, Siemens won one half of the Renfe tender to supply 32 high-speed trains for the Madrid-Barcelona high-speed rail line. Siemens offered a modified version of the IC3 used by German railways for its ICE service. IC3 trains were a joint production with other Germany-based train manufacturers who refused to supply parts or sell licenses to Siemens for the AVE Class 103. This caused a delay for which Siemens eventually paid 21 million euros, during which Siemens had to redevelop the missing components. However, at the end of this development, Siemens had a complete high-speed train platform, which it named Velaro. On 23 December 2005, Renfe ordered another 10 identical trains that Siemens designed, Velaro E2. Currently, all 26 trains from both orders have been delivered and are in service. If you watched the video about German IC trains, you probably know that IC3 has no power cars but represents one hall with distributed traction, where traction equipment was moved underfloor with powered bogies distributed in alternate carriages along the length of the train. This removes the need for driving units at either end, which AVE Class 100 and 102 have, allowing better use of space, better energy efficiency, better acceleration at lower speeds, and better ability to climb grades. For the AVE Class 103, 4 of the 8 cars were fitted with 2 powered bogies each. The total seating capacity is 404 seats. The AVE Class 103 has been certified to run at 350 km per hour. During testing between Madrid and Zaragoza on 16 July 2006, train 005 reached 403.7 km per hour. This is Spain's current national rail speed record. This train provides service mainly on the high-speed line that connects Madrid with Barcelona. There are also other series of trains that are considered high-speed, but do not run under the AVE name. They run under the Alvia and Avant brand and are variable gauge trains. They can run on high-speed lines at a maximum speed of 250 km per hour and can also change between standard and Iberian gauge lines without stopping. The trains that are operated under the Alvia and Avant brand are Avant S104, S114 and S121, and Alvia S120, S130 and S730. Of these, we will single out the Renfe Class 120-121 that are dual voltage for systems of 3 kV DC and 25 kV 50 Hz. They also have the dual gauge units capable of changing gauge between normal and Iberian gauge without stopping at 30 km per hour. 12 units were ordered in 2001 and a further 45 in 2004. The bogies incorporate CUFS Brava, a system which allows gauge changing without stopping and operating speeds of up to 275 km per hour. They are currently used for the Avant services Barcelona-Lleida, A Coruña-Orense and Zaragoza-Calatayud. The 6-car TCDD HT65000 electric multiple units ordered from CUF by the Turkish State Railways for the Istanbul-Ankara high-speed line are based upon the Class 120 design. We will also mention the Renfe Class 130, which have been nicknamed patitos or ducklings due to the shape of the train nose. This series is also dual gauge and dual voltage. The train set consists of 11 Talgo tilting wagons that incorporate the Talgo pendular passive pendulum tilting system, and 2 power cars with maximum speed of 250 km per hour on lines with standard gauge and 220 km per hour on lines with Iberian gauge. These trains can change gauges at low speed without stopping using Talgo's RD variable gauge system. In order to extend high-quality services to parts of Spain not on the high-speed network, Renfe acquired hybrid trains with both electric and diesel power for delivery in 2012. They are used from Madrid to Murcia and Galicia, built by Talgo and Bombardier. The new trains based on the S130 were labeled as S730. On 24 July 2013, a Renfe class S730 running as the Alvia 4155 service from Madrid to Ferrol derailed and crashed near Santiago de Compostela in northwestern Spain, killing 78 out of 218 passengers on board. The cause of the accident was alleged to be traveling over twice the posted speed limit while entering the curve. As you could see, most trains that are variable have a maximum speed of about 250 km per hour. This certainly affects the travel time when between the connecting cities there are lines with standard and Iberian gauge. Talgo became aware of that, so in the previous period worked on the development of a prototype that will be a variable gauge and still reach speeds of over 250 km per hour. The prototype was labeled Avril, which stands for Spanish Alta Velocidad Rueda Independiente Ligero, which is roughly translated as light, high-speed, independent wheel. The train is intended to have a top speed of incredible 380 km per hour. It will have front and rear power cars and 8 wagons in between, giving a total seating capacity of up to 600 passengers. Trains will be able to be variable gauge but also fixed gauge, and the traction system will be compatible with 4 different voltages. After several years of development and testing, the first order for Avril trains were placed in November 2016 when Spanish Renfe signed a €786.5 million contract for 15 train sets and 30 years of maintenance. The trains will cost €337.5 million or €22.5 million per train, and their maintenance over 30 years will cost €448.97 million, which is €29.9 million per train or €1 million per train each year. In May 2017, Renfe ordered 15 additional train sets. The first fixed-gauge trains will be a part of Renfe's new series 106, numbered from 001 to 0015, and the trains of the second sets will be of variable gauge, numbered from 051 to 065. In March and April 2021, units 006 and 007 were used to carry out the corresponding homologation. Unit 007 reached the 363 km per hour necessary for the homologation at the end of May 2021. As of February 2022, several manufactured units are stored in Sagra workshops, awaiting the commissioning of the entire series. Along with this test program, the Avril train has also undergone a similar approval process in France. The work there is mainly focused on the technical validation of the onboard control systems of 10 of the 30 trains that have been adopted to operate in France. In any case, this was the story about the Spanish AVE trains on Railways Explained. We hope you enjoyed and learned something new about the railways of the world. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your rail-loving friends, and of course subscribe to our channel and consider becoming our patron. Until the next time, goodbye.